Hello everyone. Today we will be seeing suture materials and surgical needles. In this, we will be seeing historical background, need of suturing, ideal suture properties, classification of suture materials and surgical needles. So, in historical background, the earliest report of surgical suture dated to 3000 BC in ancient Egypt, and the oldest known suture is in the mummy from 1100 BC. A detailed description of wound suture and the suture material used in it is by the Indian sage and physician Sushruta, written in 500 BC. The 2nd century Roman physician Galen described gut sutures. In 10th century, the manufacturing process involved harvesting sheep intestine, so-called catgut suture, and was similar to that of string for violin, guitar, and tennis rackets also. Joseph Lister endorsed the routine sterilization of all suture threads. He first attempted sterilization with the 1860s carbolic catgut and chromic catgut, followed by 2 decades later. Sterile catgut was finally achieved in 1906 with iodine treatment. The next great leap came in the 20th century. The chemical industry drove production of first synthetic thread in early 1930s, which exploded into the production of numerous absorbable and non-absorbable synthetic sutures. The first synthetic absorbable was based on polyvinyl alcohol in 1931. Polyesters were developed in 1950s, and later the process of radiation sterilization was established for catgut and polyesters. Polyglycolic acid was discovered in 1960s and implemented in 1970s. Today, most sutures are made of synthetic polymers. Silk and rarely gut sutures are the only material still in use from ancient times. Then what are the needs for suture? It provides an adequate tension of wound closure without dead space but loose enough to obviate tissue ischemia and necrosis. It maintains hemostasis. It permits primary intention healing and reduces post-operative pain. It also provides support for tissue margins until they have healed and support no longer is needed. It prevents bone exposure resulting in delayed healing and unnecessary resorption. It permits proper flap position. Then what are the ideal sutures? Ideal sutures are those which gives minimal tissue reaction, which are smooth enough, which causes less minimum tissue drag, low capillarity, maximum tensile strength, ease of handling, not security, consistency of performance, predictable performance, and cost effectiveness. Now the classification of sutures. Sutures have been classified as natural versus synthetic, absorbable and non-absorbable, braided versus monofilaments. So we will see absorbable and non-absorbable. Both are classified into natural as well as synthetic. In absorbable, natural are catgut, plain catgut, chromic catgut. In synthetic, those are polyglycolic, that is Dexon, polygalactic, that is Vicryl, and polyparadioxano, that is PDS. In non-absorbable, natural are silk, cotton, and metal sutures, and in metal generally stainless steel. And in synthetic, non-absorbable sutures are Dacron, that is Tevdec, Ethibond, and in nylon, ethylon, and nurmalon. In polypropylene, uh, these are prolines, sergilins. In braided and monofilaments, in braided, absorbable are Dexons and Vicryl. In non-absorbable, silk, Dacron, and braided nylon. In monofilament, in absorbable, those are PDS and Maxon. In non-absorbable, those are nylon and polypropylene. Now, natural versus synthetic. So we'll see the advantages and disadvantages of natural sutures. The advantages of natural sutures are those are natural materials, get absorbed quickly, and strength retention is good. And disadvantages have it has more reaction, material inconsistency is there, there is increased tissue trauma. In synthetic sutures, the advantages are those are pliable, strength retention is good, absorption hydrolysis, and patient reactivity is less. And disadvantages are persist in body for longer time. Now we'll see monofilament versus multifilament. In monofilament, advantages are they have smooth surface, they have less tissue trauma, no bacterial harbors as they have less surface area, and no capillarity. Disadvantages are handling, not tying is quite difficult in monofilament sutures as they have memory. and they are stretchless. Then multifilament. In multifilaments, the advantages are its strength, soft and pliable, it has good handling property and good knotting property. The disadvantages are they harvest bacteria as they have larger surface area, the capillarity action is there, and it causes more tissue trauma. Now we'll see absorbable versus non-absorbable sutures. In absorbable sutures, the advantages are they are broken down by body itself, so there is no need for removal of sutures, and no foreign body is left. But the disadvantages are consideration of wound support time. The time required for different wound is different. So where the wound healing is time required for wound healing is more, we can't use absorbable sutures there. Now, non-absorbable sutures. The advantages are those are permanent wound support, gives permanent wound support, and the disadvantages are these are foreign body lefts. Suture removal can be inconvenient, and sinus and extrusion may occur if left in place. So, suture removal is necessary after sutures are placed. Regardless of its composition, suture material is a foreign body to human tissue and will elicit a foreign body reaction to a greater or lesser degree. Two major mechanisms of absorption results in the degradation of the absorbable sutures. Sutures of biological origin such as surgical gut and are gradually digested by tissue enzymes, and sutures manufactured from synthetic polymers are principally broken down by hydrolysis in the tissue. Non-absorbable sutures made from a variety of non-biodegradable materials are ultimately encapsulated or walled off by fibroblasts. Now we'll see the sizes of suture threads. Suture sizes are defined by United States Pharmacopoeia. Sutures were originally manufactured ranging in size from 1 to 6, with 1 being the smallest. As the procedure improved, 0 was added to the suture diameter, and later thinner threads were manufactured, which were identified as 00, that is 20 or 2 by 0, to 6 zeros, that is 60 or 6 by 0. Now surgical needles. The appropriate needle choice for any situation is the needle that will cause least possible trauma to the tissue being sutured. Needles are made of steel alloys with a neocoat coating so that they stay sharp for multiple passes through the tissue. Now needle points. The penetration of a needle is dependent on the point. Each specific point is designed and produced to the required degree of sharpness to penetrate smoothly the type of tissue to be sutured. And the chord length. The straight line distance from the point of curved needles to the swag. This can vary from 2 mm to more than 2 inches length in a diameter, determining factor in the width of bite taken by the needle. So this is the chord length actually, and this is the needle point, and this is the needle swag. So the distance between the needle point and the swag is the chord length, and this is the needle radius from the center. Needle diameter. The gauge or thickness of the needle wire needle diameter varies from 30 microns to over 1 mm. The diameter equals the size of the needle track except the spatulated or cutting design. Needle radius. If the curvature of the needles were to continue to make a full circle, the radius of the curvature is the distance from the center of the circle to the body of the needle. Think of the needle as a part of a circle. Now swag. This is the area in which the sutures is attached to the needle. The swag area is of specific importance to the relationship of needle and suture thickness. It also the weakest point of the needle. The objective of the swag area is to achieve the closest 1:1 suture needle ratio as possible. A 1:1 needle ratio reduces the additional trauma which may be caused by the needle or the suture, as in addition prevents leakage and anastomotic procedures. Needle body is the portion between the point and the swag and is used as the grasping area. Needle arming. The needle should be grasped in the middle one third of the distance from the swag area to the point. The needle should be placed securely in the tip of the needle holder jaw. So this is the proper position where the needle should be holded. That is the 1/3 distance from the swag of the needle. So these are the types of the needle. This is the 1/4 circle, 3/8 circle. This is the half circle needle. Then 5/8 circle needle. This is the half curve and straight needle. This is J-shaped needle, and this is a compound curve. So now we'll see the cutting edges. So these are the conventional cutting edges where it has pyramidal shape, and this is the cutting needle with reverse pyramid. So this is a taper cut which blends into circular shape. So this is the difference between the conventional cutting and reverse cutting. In conventional cutting, as the tip of the triangle is upward, the trauma to the tissue may occur, which doesn't occur in reverse cutting needle. Needle holder selection. Use an approximate size of the given needle. The smaller the needle, the smaller the needle holder is required. The tip of the jaw of the needle holder should meet before remaining portion of the jaws. The needle should be placed securely in the tip of the jaws and should not rock, twist or turn. Do not overclose the needle holder. It should close only to the first or second ratchet. This will avoid damaging the needle. Pass the needle holder so it is always directed by the operator's thumb. So this is the ideal position for a needle holder to be held. Then placement of needle in the tissues. Force should always be applied in the direction that follows the curvature of the needle. Suturing should always be from movable to a non-movable tissue. Avoid excessive tissue bite with small needle, as it will be difficult to retrieve them. Use only sharp needle with minimal force. Replace dull needles. Never force the needle through the tissue. Do not hold the swag area. It may bend or break the needle. Do not grasp the point area, as damage or notching may result. Avoid retrieving the needle from the tissue by the tip. This will damage or dull the needle. Suture should be placed in keratinized tissue whenever possible. An adequate tissue bite is required to prevent the flap from tearing. So these are the sizes of microsurgical needles. So from top to bottom, these are four vicryl sutures, 60 polypropylene sutures, 70 PDS, 80 nylon, and 10 nylon sutures. Thank you.